Hi, this is the Intelliversity interview of Malama Composites and its founder, Ned McMahon, and CEO, David Saltman. And just want to remind you that are listening that this is a training experience. This is not a solicitation to invest in this company, nor is it an offer to sell securities. This is a training experience for other entrepreneurs who are forming teams or considering forming teams and want to find out what a successful entrepreneurial team really looks and sounds like. And so to begin that process, of course, it's going to be useful for you to know a little bit about what Malama Composites does. So first of all, I'd like to ask each of you to deliver in roughly 30 seconds your elevator pitch of Malama Composites.
Okay, you have to go first then.
Now you each do it your own way. Don't copy the others. Whatever you normally tell somebody in 30 seconds.
Well, we make a bio-based foam core material that's used in a variety of composites, everything from wind blades to boat building to model making, wide range of products. This furniture that you see right here in front of us was made from our core material. But the key thing is that we're making a product that's bio-based, non-toxic, doesn't off-gas, and is also safe for the workers that are in our shop.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think the only thing I would add to that is we're the first and we're the only ones in the world who've managed to essentially develop formulations where we can make very high performance, cost competitive materials, but also make it green. So we live in a very high performance world, either with surfboards or boat building or various applications. And so we really have to be at or better at the competition and provide environmental features and benefits that are far superior. And I think that's where really Malama will find its niche and its place.
So before we get into the team itself, do you have a sample of something made out of your novel foam material?
Sure. I mean, this table right here, as Ned said, Ned shaped it, we glassed it, and you have a conference table which instead of weighing 200 pounds, weighs 25 pounds. Mm-hmm. That surfboard against the wall is made out of our material, and it's actually glassed not in fiberglass and traditional polyester resins, but it's glassed in hemp cloth and linseed oil resin. So it is possible to achieve really spectacular materials as we enter a new age where we're finally starting to be more environmentally responsible without sacrificing anything in performance.
Or price.
Or price. Mm-hmm. So if I understand correctly, without sacrificing performance or price, it's about the same price as competing materials, you can reduce the environmental impact for the people. Manufacturing it for the public that uses it, and
that's correct.
Basic sums it up. How big is this market?
So the market in polyurethane foams, just exactly our materials that we could be a drop-dead replacement for, is about $9.5 billion in the U.S., $20 billion worldwide. So we're looking at enormous industrial markets. 3/4 of that goes into building insulation materials, structural insulation products. It's used widely in refrigeration units, so the cores of your walls of refrigerators and ovens are made out of polyurethanes. And then there's very large markets for us, as Ned mentioned, in boat building and surfboards, which are true to our core as well.
True to your core. So why, you can each answer separately, but why is this business exciting to you? Why does it matter to you?
Well, I've worked in composites my whole life. I actually went to university to study naval architecture and have been building surfboards since I was in my teens. And I worked, this is what I did for my living for 25 or 30 years.
Right.
The problem with the industry and the reason that we took this step was that the industry is very toxic. And I've had personal friends that got sick and died from exposure to the chemistry in this business. So when there was a door that opened in the market about in 2005 because of a previous company that shut down, I saw an opportunity to do something, but to do it with a different method to try to clean things up a little bit.
All right.
So that, you know, we always talk about the environment. There's two sides, in my view, to the environment. There's the hardcore, you know, save the earth kind of environment, which our product meets, and there's the human side of the environment too, to make it safer for the people that are working with it.
I see.
So that both of those were important.
David?
Okay, well, I guess I've done nothing but what's now called clean tech for the last 20 years. So I actually ran a company that did the first biocomposites materials in North America, and that was focused on the auto industry. And essentially we were taking natural fibers from flax and hemp and a material called knaf, very strong fibers, and we would blend it with polypropylene fibers, and that's in door panels and seat backs and car liners at Ford and GM and Chrysler now. So I think Ned and I both, even though we didn't know each other throughout this whole period of time, had a very strong commitment to doing things in a sustainable manner, to really look at life cycle, to really look at impact and carbon footprint and toxicity. And the fact that we came together around this composites business is just, I think, very exciting for both of us.
We'll get to the question of how you guys met in a minute. See if you could share for us a funny incident that happened with you guys together in this company. It's the funniest thing you can remember in your experience.
That David had to kick me out of a hotel room that we had traveled to.
Yeah, I was saving some money. You know, when you're starting up a company, you're trying to save money. That was pretty funny. But Ned was snoring in his sleep that night, so at 2 in the morning I had to find another hotel room. We were a little too close at that point. There were separate beds. I don't want to give anybody the wrong impression. I'm happily married, and Ned is happily with many girlfriends. But I think also it was odd to us. I wouldn't say funny, but odd to us that we traveled in similar circles all our lives. We've surfed similar places. Ned's been a shaper and surfed all over the world, and so have I. And now I surf with my kids and my wife, but we've never really crossed paths. And then it sort of happened. It was odd. We probably know 200 people in common and have surfed all the same breaks around the world.
Yeah. Now, you may have already answered this question in that, but for both of you, what makes this business fun for you to be together in?
Gosh, for me, I get excited every day that I go to a different company that we're working with, for a couple reasons. I really love to see the wheels of industry turning in the U.S. Some people are making filament wound tanks, some people are making boats, some people are making little parts for aircraft, some people are making office furniture. All of those turn me on when I see the different shops. And so it's just cool to see the wheels of industry, and then to go into that shop and help them figure out, you know, in the case of office furniture, for example, does our material go down their edge banding lines, and can we use it and figure out how it'll work in their particular application.
And what makes the business fun to work together with David?
Well,
or David with Ned?
From my perspective, I was always a pretty hands-on person through my whole career, so I've worked with composites and worked with foam and built things all my life. But I didn't know how to do everything, and I struggled with this company, getting it started for a number of years until I met David, because I needed to bring other people on that could handle the financial side, the money-raising side, and really professional operations even. I can go out to a shop and help people figure out how to make stuff, but to do what David's doing, that wasn't my skill set.
Got it. So it's fun for you to work with somebody who complements your skill set, because things get done that you can't do by yourself.
And like I said, I trust David's take. I know his background. I know his experience. We do have the common ground of a lot of mutual friends, and so I feel absolutely comfortable with what David's doing, and I don't even have to think about that part of the business.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, when Ned goes out into the world, he's a proselytizer of Malama Composites. So I think a lot of what is fun for me is that you build a team around that trusts each other and has very different sets of skills. And, you know, talking to the capital markets or talking to strategic partners, we're right in the middle of acquiring a very large portfolio of intellectual property, actually. That's a different type of a relationship. and people have different expectations about that negotiation or that transaction as opposed to the transaction where Ned introduces a new material and all of a sudden it's in a Beneteau boat or in a drone or in an airplane part.
So what's fun here is you guys get to go in drones together.
Yeah.
Uniform boats.
Even in the part of acquiring an IP portfolio, I knew these guys, I worked with them, I developed a relationship, and my relationship with them was still sort of a hands-on technical relationship. And then to go to the next step to deal with these guys to acquire this IP portfolio, that's where David stepped in and went and negotiated with them.
Sounds like fun. Let's take a break for a moment.